Good morning. This is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on March 10, 2022. Russia's Lavrov arrives in Turkey for talks with Ukraine counterpart. Trump admired Putin's ability to kill whoever, says Stephanie Grisham. The Guardian, Trump would have told Putin to go on in Ukraine, ex-White House press secretary says. The Independent, in break with Trump, Representative McCarthy says he doesn't think there's anything savvy or genius about Putin. The Washington Post, Trump News, Live, ex-president's jet made emergency landing after engine failure off Louisiana. Ukraine war, President Zelensky says millions of people could die if world does not act now to stop the bombing. EU leaders unite to confront Putin's war in Ukraine. BBC, Ukraine war gives Macron's drive for EU autonomy new impetus. Politico Europe, EU struggles to deepen unity on defense and energy. Financial Times, EU explores ways to finance resilience. Bloomberg, EU leaders tackle escape route from Russian fossil fuels. Twitter launches privacy-protected site on dark web to bypass Russia's block. Disney CEO brokers last-ditch meeting with DeSantis to stop "Don't Say Gay" bill. The Independent, Disney CEO reverses course and opposes Florida's "Don't Say Gay" bill. Financial Times, Florida passes "Don't Say Gay" bill for schools in a victory for DeSantis. The Times, Florida's "Don't Say Gay" bill is just as bizarre as we thought, according to the person who sponsored it. The Independent, opinion, Florida's "Don't Say Gay" bill hurts kids. Mariupol bombing, before and after satellite images show destruction in Ukraine city. The Guardian, Ukraine goes dark, satellite images show lights out in war-torn country. Sky News, satellite imagery shows reduction in light emitted from Ukraine amid power cuts. The Independent, White House points to serious logistical bottleneck with plans to send jets to Ukraine. Plane carrying Trump reportedly made emergency landing after engine failure. The Guardian, Donald Trump's plane made emergency landing in New Orleans after engine failure over Gulf of Mexico. The Independent, Trump plane makes emergency landing after engine failure. The Washington Post, plane carrying Trump made emergency landing over weekend, source says. Lithuania names road leading to Russian embassy, Ukrainian Heroes Street. The Guardian, Edinburgh Council urged to rename Russian Consulate Street after Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Scotsman, Lib Dems call for Melville Street to be renamed Zelensky Street in honor of Ukrainian president. STV News, Zelensky Avenue Street name campaign to embarrass Russian embassy in London. ITV News, calls to rename London Russian Embassy Street Zelensky Avenue. Olena Zelenska, Ukraine's First Lady rallies her 2 million Instagram followers over horrors of war. But who is she and how did the couple meet? Sky News, Ukraine, First Lady Olena Zelenska condemns Russian mass murder. BBC.com, Olena Zelenska, Ukraine's First Lady condemns Russia's mass murder of civilians in impassioned statement. Evening Standard, Ukraine war, First Lady Olena Zelenska writes open letter condemning Putin and mass murder of Ukrainian civilians. Sky News, my country was peaceful, Ukraine's First Lady describes impossible destruction of war. COVID-19, pandemic not over, expert warns amid increasing hospital admissions among older people. Ukraine war, Russia confirms it has used thermobaric weapons, says UK's Ministry of Defence. Sky News, Ukraine-Russia war, UK to send more anti-tank missiles. BBC, Kwasi Kwarteng tones down anti-fracking rhetoric after number 10 hints at U-turn, as it happened. The Guardian, Russia confirms use of vacuum bombs, Mod says. The Independent, Ukraine war, Ben Wallace announces UK government will send more weapons to Ukraine for country to defend itself against Russia. Lost and Found, the extraordinary story of Shackleton's endurance epic. The Guardian, Endurance, Shackleton's lost ship is found in Antarctic. BBC, Endurance, Shackleton's ship found 106 years after sinking in Antarctic. Guardian News, the story of Endurance has a plot more gripping than any Hollywood blockbuster. The Independent, irony as Sky News sends Dan Snow to report from Antarctica. Man who received first pig heart transplant dies 2 months after experimental surgery. The Independent, first person to receive heart transplant from pig dies, says Maryland hospital. The Guardian, man who received pig heart in groundbreaking transplant dies 2 months after surgery. Sky News, what is the future of xenotransplantation after first pig heart transplant patient dies? The Independent, man who had world's first pig heart transplant dies. Fact-checking Boris Johnson's claim about refugees. BBC, Ukraine war, visas a shambles, Brits with Ukrainian family say. BBC.com, blame the Home Office blob for the Ukraine visa shambles. The Telegraph, Priti Patel is blind to her own cruelty over Ukrainian refugees, but we should have seen this coming. The Independent, Ian McWhirter, our treatment of Ukrainian refugees is another national disgrace. Conservative candidate squeaks to victory in South Korean election. The Guardian, Seoul to take more aggressive stance on North Korea under new President Yoon Suk-yeol. The Telegraph, South Koreans cast votes after bitter presidential election campaign. Financial Times, analysis, Korea's president-elect harnessed voter discontent. Now comes the hard part. Reuters.com, South Korea election contenders neck and neck, according to exit polls. Russia could launch chemical attack in Ukraine, White House. BBC.com, Britain and US fear Russia could be setting stage to use chemical weapons. The Guardian, White House warns Russia may use chemical weapons in Ukraine. The Independent, Vladimir Putin plotting chemical weapons attack in Ukraine. The Telegraph, Ukraine war, Moscow says it has found biological weapons in Ukraine, but US dismisses claims as absurd propaganda. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.